review. Here with me, I have the guidelines paper and I have the Punch newspaper for today. Federal government seeks to calm markets as US strike, test sovereignty economic. The military intervention by the United States against terrorist handouts in Sokoto has stretched Nigeria into a delicate phase of its counter-terrorism struggle and enlightening fierce debates over sovereignty, governance failure, and the limits of foreign investment in domestic security. Beyond the security and political implications described as also rattled investors' confidence and compelling the federal government to move swiftly to reassure market that the operation poses no threat to Nigeria's economic fundamental or reform trajectory. The Alliance for Yoruba Democratic Movement, a coalition of about 130 pan-Yoruba organizations, described the alleged operation as a bold and necessary step to curb the spread of violence and treason, which it said has increasingly threatened Nigeria's sovereignty and democratic order. In a statement jointly signed by its General Secretary Popo Ola Ajayi and Razak Arogundade, urged Nigeria authority to sustain intelligence-driven collaboration with global partners, insisting that nominations can defeat terrorism in isolation. Federal government seeks to calm markets as US strike tests sovereignty economy. The full details of these stories inside the guideline newspaper for today. Another story here with me in the guideline newspaper for today. Representative minority seeks suspension of tax law over alleged post-passage attractions. The minority caucus of House of Representatives has called for the suspension of the implementation of Nigeria's newly elected tax reforms law following allegation that versions gases and circulated to public while acted over being passed by National Assembly and assisted to by President Bola Tinubu. The call comes amid a growing controversial triggered by claim from a member of House of the Tax Reform Bill as approved by both chambers of the National Assembly were materially different from the couple's later and gazetted and made public. The allegations sparked intense debates within and outside the legislatures, raising questions about the integrity of the law-making and gazetting process. In a response to the claims, the House of Representatives recently inaugurated a high-power investigative committee to examine whether the tax law were unlawfully amended after passage, accidentally gazetted, or improperly circulated to the public. The minority leaders, Representative Kingsley Chindan, in a statement on Monday, described the situation as a serious constitutional matter that goes beyond partnership politics and warning that any tampering with bar passed by the legislative will amount to an attack on democracy. Representative minority seeks suspension of tax law over alleged policies passage attractions. The full details of these stories inside the guidelines newspaper for today. Another story here with me in the guidelines paper for today. Adeleke aid blasts APC alleged plot to re-register Accord Party. Spokesperson to Governor Ademola Adeleke of OSUN State, Olawale Rasheed, has challenged the All Progressive Congress (APC) to test its claim to electoral strength at the polls rather pursue plot to undermine the Accord Party ahead of 2026 governorship election. Reacting to a call by the lawmaker representing Obokun Oriade Federal Constituency, Wole Oke, for the registration of the APC, Rasheed accused the lawmaker of engaging on unlawful advocacy to please the ministers of Marine and Blue Economic Boyega Itela who govern the states. He said the growing popularity of APC as a platform for Adeleke unsettled the APC and prompting call for the party registration instead of an open political contest. The governor aide dismissed such a move as undemocratic, insisting that a party confident of victory should be willing to face voters directly the party, while dismissing claims that it was liable to distraction and described them as unfounded, misleading, and urged members and supporters in Osun State to remain calm and focused. Adeleke aid blasts APC alleged plot to deregister accord passage. The full set of these stories inside the guide and newspaper for today, and that's what we have for you for the newspaper review. We are going for the second edition of this program. We will be right back for the second edition of this program. The Punch newspaper will listen to what we have for you today on our studio. We'll be right back for the second edition of this program.
Discover the uniqueness in the entertainment industry. African Broadcasting Network (ABN) is now the pace setter in the industry. Do you want to advertise your product and services? Count on us. We will do it much more than your expectations. African Broadcasting Network (ABN) will deliver quick and prompt services. Our quality and clarity stands us out when it comes to delivering quality broadcasting. Our staffs are hardworking and versatile in the specific field of office. Our environment is so conducive and we are open to all. We also give advice on how to run your business profitably. African Broadcasting Network is situated at
9894 OSUN Street, Suite 875, Houston, Texas 77036.
Contact phone 281-652-8396 and
832-490-8203.
Website www.abntvnetwork.com. ABN, celebrating Africans' rich cultural heritage.
Of this program, the Punch newspaper. Before we go to the second edition of this program, if you like to watch us live and direct on our social media page, you can follow us, like, share, comment, and subscribe. On our social media page, you can follow us on Facebook and click on ABNTV OSUN. Likewise, on our YouTube, you can like, share, comment, and click on ABNTV Nigeria as well. And on our Twitter, you can also follow us on ABNTV OSUN. And lastly, on our Instagram, you can like, share, comment, and subscribe and click on ABNTV Nigeria as well. And now to the second edition of this program, the Punch newspaper. Judges' appointments, NGS shortlist 28 as 34 failed integrity test. The National Judiciary Council has disclosed that 34 applicants, including a chief superintendent of police, failed the judges' appointment integrity conducted by the Federal Judiciary Services Commission. The council made this known in a statement on Sunday in Abuja, explaining that while 62 applicants passed the computer-based test conducted by the Federal High Court in Abuja, only 28 nominees engaged successfully after the integrity screening. According to the NGC, the 62 candidates who passed the CBT were forwarded to the FGC for further assessments in line within the integrity. Upon assuming office, Justice Kekere Ekun introduced a public feedback-based integrity test for the judiciary appointments and allowing members of the public to submit petitions and comments on shortlist nominees. The NGC statement said 62 applicants passed the CBT conducted by the Federal High Court. Judges' appointments, NGC shortlist 28 as 34 failed integrity tests. The full set of these stories inside the Punch paper for today. Another 3 year with me in the Punch paper for today. Resident doctor tracing fresh threat over unfulfilled agreements. The Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors has warned that the country may soon face another nationwide shutdown of medical services following the federal government's failure to honor a memorandum of understanding previously signed by the association. In an urgent appeal to senior medical professionals and respected elders posted on X on Sunday and titled Urgent Appeal to Avert a Looming Nationwide Nigeria Association of Presidents Strike, NAD Secretary General Dr. Shaubu Ibrahim cautioned that the nation was on the brink of a total and indefinite comprehensive strike. The association said that the strike will be an inevitable result of the Federal Ministry of Health and the federal government ignoring multiple deadlines for implementing the memorandum signed by the resident doctors. NAD recalled that it suspended its indefinite strike on November 29 after 29 days of industrial action. Following the signing of an MOU with the government, under the agreement, the government committed the meeting NAD demand within 4 weeks. The association, however, warned that it will resume a total, indefinite, and a comprehensive strike if the federal government fails to implement the agreed demand within stipulated 4 weeks. NAD emphasized that resident doctors form the backbone of services delivering in Nigeria tertiary hospitals, and noting that They are overworked and increasingly demoralized. The association called on senior medical elders to intervene, saying that their influence could compel the government to act and avert another nationwide crisis in healthcare services. Resident doctors stressing fresh strike over unfulfilled agreements. The full details of these stories inside the punch for today. And that will be after an newspaper review. If you'd like to follow us live on social media, you can follow us on our Facebook and click on ABNTV OSUN. Likewise on our YouTube, you can like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click on ABNTV Nigeria as well. And on our Twitter, you can also like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click on ABNTV OSUN. And lastly, on our Instagram, you can follow us on ABNTV Nigeria as well. And for those of you that are also using TikTok, you can also follow us, share, comments, and subscribe, and click on ABNTV Nigeria as well. My name is Kenny Afolabi. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. And I wish you a prosperous new year. Hey, bye for now.
African Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. It's all about Africa. It's all about motherland. Celebrating rich cultural heritage. ABN, we bring the best. Broadcasting Network. Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. Oh, entertainment, education. African Broadcasting Network. Oh yeah. Oh, information, cultural value. African Broadcasting Network. ABN, celebrating Africa's rich cultural heritage.